Okay, think I'm live. Hey there, Cosmic Crypto here. Gonna do some live TA tonight. And let's see if I figured this thing out. I've got the chat up, I believe. And doesn't look. Well, hold on a second. Checking some settings here. Boy, I still got to figure this out. I'm going to give it a minute here before I start, because I don't know if anybody's in here. So, and I know nobody's going to jump right on the second I go live without any notice. I had a lot of people asking me to do some videos tonight, so thought I'd just go live and cover a bunch of different coins at the same time. Okay. Still trying to figure out my settings here. YouTube Studio says I'm not live, but I know I am. No data. Oh, hey, GL29. I guess I am live. Somebody's watching. Yeah, I can't I'm getting better. I got the live chat up at least tonight. So now if I can figure out, it doesn't show me how many people are in here, but I know I got at least one. So yeah, you can always rewind it. I'll get started since there's somebody in here. Let's see. Let's start off on the Raven coin chart, because that's kind of the videos I've been doing lately. And yeah, another nice pump today. So one thing I'm going to say, I did move my resistance line. I was kind of looking at this earlier today as the pump was going on, and I thought my original resistance line was up on these wicks, and we didn't reach it, and so I thought, well, okay, let's move it down to the bodies of the candles. And that's what I did, and as you can see, I mean, you can move a resistance and support line any way you want to manipulate it to kind of be where you want it. And so it does line up the way that I've put it now with our little wick that we got going on for the day. Actually, the week, sorry, there's the weekly and the daily. So we still have plenty of time left to break above this. We still have plenty of time left to break above where my previous resistance line was, which was on the wicks up here. Oh, thanks. 4 people so far, I saw it. Every time you send something and I see it really quickly, then it just goes away and says message retracted. So I see it and then it disappears. So I'm not sure what that's all about. Boy, if anybody comes in here and knows how to use this YouTube Live using OBS Studio, which is how I do my screen sharing, is through OBS Studio, because I can't do it directly through YouTube. If you got any ideas, you know, I could always use some help. So, yeah, 4 people in here is what GL29 said. So, yeah, thanks for watching. I got on Twitter. I'm not a Twitter person, but I got on there, and the amount of messages I got today and people, subscribing to me, I guess, on Twitter. Yeah, highly appreciated. Oh, you're deleting them after. Okay. Yeah, it's really appreciated for everybody that's following me on Twitter, that's, messaging me. If you got any coins that you want me to look at, we can do that as well. But I got a few that I want to look at. I want to look at Raven Coin, Ethereum Classic. I want to look at the DXY, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and then if we have time, Link and EGLD are two that I'm really interested in. And I've been kind of stacking a lot of Link and EGLD as the prices have been falling. But yeah, back to Raven Coin. So yeah, we hit this resistance after I moved my resistance line. I just want to keep saying that. The RSI, I opened up the RSI. I haven't had the RSI open on many of my videos, but I wanted to see where we were at, because you can always tell when the RSI... So the best way to know when the market's about to crash is... Let me get my tools up here. If you open up the RSI and the weekly RSI is anywhere above 90. In this case over here for Ravencoin, we were at a 97, which is just crazy high. 90 is usually the key, the point. So if you want to know when the bull market is over, open up the RSI, open up the weekly chart, and if it's around 90, anywhere between 80 to 95, but usually around 90, and the bull market's over. You're going to have a massive crash after that. It always happens. It happens on Bitcoin, and that's really the only one you need to care about, because if it happens on Bitcoin and Bitcoin goes down, then everything else is going to go down. So, and that's just the way the market works right now, unfortunately. So that's the best way to know when the top is in. And let me just switch over to Bitcoin here really quick. And so we had, let me get a line out there on the RSI. I'll get back to Ravencoin here in a second. 95. So we hit 95, and let me go to the monthly chart. Excuse me. When you get to the monthly chart, I meant to say the monthly chart earlier. So the monthly chart here, look at this. We hit back in 2017. We came up and we hit the 95 level, and we had our massive crash. We hit the 95 level again. Now we did go up just a tiny bit higher. So we, in Bitcoin, we had gone all the way up to 63.5, and then we ended up getting to 68. But is it really worth that extra couple $1,000s to you when you could be losing this much? So I mean, a couple thousand compared to losing, 73% or whatever, it's not worth it. So usually when you get up above 90, around 90, that's when you want to start looking at cashing some stuff out. Let's go over to Ravencoin again, and I want to get back down to the daily, because we're starting to lose momentum on the braid filter here, and we still have 17 hours to go, but we are seeing some divergence happening on the RSI. That's why I pulled the RSI up. We've got divergence happening, which, if you don't know what divergence is, it means you get a higher high on the price. So we hit right here and we got higher, but on the RSI, when we did hit this high right here, we are actually going lower. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if I can make that a little bit bigger. But yeah, so the price starts going lower. So what that means is that buyers were buying and pushing the price up, but the oscillator, which is the RSI, was not keeping up with it. And this is a good telltale sign. And we're on the daily chart too, so it has some significance that we're losing momentum. So this can change. It can still change. We still got 17 and a half hours to go. If this candle right here just gets some massive a flood of buyers coming in and pushes us above our resistance line, then that means the RSI can come back up and create a new higher high, which would then keep our divergence, it wouldn't be a bearish divergence coming in anymore. So we want to pay attention to this. Now, I'm really concerned. This is actually, so when we were down here, I was buying as much as I could because we had all this room to run. We had the Ethereum merge coming up. We had all this room to run, and everything was looking great. But now that we're at resistance, the merge is in a couple of days, a few days. We have no idea what's going to happen. Now, if you're a Ravencoin bull, you're going to say Ravencoin could go to $10 to $15. Now, it possibly can. It's not going. I don't think it's going to do that this year. I think that if we reached $1.60, that's a good time to, take some profits, because that is a pretty high price for me for Ravencoin for this year. But this is the scary part, okay? So if you are into Ravencoin right now, if you have a long position open with leverage, especially if you've got any kind of long position open, start to be aware here because we're at resistance, which is a very strong resistance all the way back from our previous all-time high back in February of 2021. So you want to definitely start paying attention. And I'm actually kind of concerned with this divergence showing up. I want to start seeing some volume coming in. The daily volume is terrible. The braid filter is going down. And let's go down to a lower time frame here. So we're holding this. So we had this wick over here to the just over 6 cents. This was on September 9th. So just a few days ago. And so we're coming down and we're retesting it right now. And if we pull out a Fibonacci, I mean, let's go from this bottom here. Yeah, I mean, I could see us coming back down, going a little bit further, actually. I could actually see us coming back down because the momentum is stalling. If we are going to have any kind of bullish move, I could see us coming back down to the 618. The 618 is a very strong Fibonacci support line. So if the bullish momentum is going to continue, I could see us coming down, wicking down to the 618, possibly holding this yellow line I've got here, which I think is either in the wrong spot or, yeah, it's in the wrong spot. That must have got moved. So this is your resistance right here. This is where the full body came up, got rejected, and then finally broke through. And I could see us coming back to retest support here, which is around the 0574. I could see that happening. And if we're going to continue on the bullish move, that's where we might find our support, bounce up, and then finally break out of our strong resistance here. The stochastic's doing just fine, so I'm not worried about that. But, and also, yeah, see, even here, we're on the 12-hour, we've got some divergence going on here. Higher highs on the price, lower highs on the RSI. Now, just because you've got a bearish divergence, that doesn't mean that you can't go higher. I mean, you can. It's happened many times that it does go higher. So we could see another push to the upside, maybe around the 9-10 cent, and get out of this. And then the divergence could come into play. That would be the most bullish scenario we can come up with right now, is if we had this divergence coming in and we were able to push above our resistance, and then the divergence plays out and we do get a rejection and we come down and we start doing this for a little bit. That, in my opinion, would probably be one of the most bullish things that could happen, is to get out of here. We got to get above this resistance. Otherwise this divergence, what it's going to do is it's going to push us back down inside of our main resistance line here, which honestly, if it did, I'd be looking at this 200 EMA. So you'd have the 200 EMA down here, probably swinging up like that. You got our 20 EMA and our 50 EMA, which is right around the 200 EMA right now. I could see us coming down. We're pretty far from these EMAs right now already. So If we went sideways here, that's fine too. A bearish divergence can make you go sideways as well. Then come back down, hit the 200 EMA, and then get our bounce out. But if we start falling through this 200 EMA, that's not good. I don't think that's going to be very good for the price. And again, like I said, the merge is coming up in a couple of days. We're hitting resistance. One thing I was thinking today is Ravencoin getting a big pump right now, right before the merge, and Ravencoin is getting the buy the rumor, sell the news, which is people start buying before the actual merge happens, and then you get a massive sell-off. And that is definitely possible. So yeah, again, be on your toes right now with the Ravencoin price. We got our big pump. One thing we did not complete yet is our bump and run. So our bump and run pattern, which started way back here, so we hit this resistance line, come down, go sideways, break above, and then retest. We have not reached our price target. So if you want to think of one other thing that's bullish, is our price target for that is around 12 cents, 12 to 13 cents. So we have not reached that yet. If we do break out of here, hit that, 10 to 13 cent range, and then come back down to retest, that's going to be great. But just pay attention right now to Ravencoin. If there's any questions on Ravencoin, you can go ahead and throw them in the chat there. I'm going to move on to Ethereum Classic, which honestly I'm really disappointed with Ethereum Classic right now. Yeah, again, my thought again for Ravencoin is Ravencoin a buy the rumor, sell the news, and then Ethereum Classic is a sell the news, buy the rumor, or whatever you want to call it, because Ethereum Classic I had assumed would break out of this resistance, and it's just kind of sitting here. I'm on the weekly, and it came up, we hit it multiple times, came back down just a little bit, hit it again, and I really do think Ethereum Classic wants to make a move here, but it's just not going anywhere. And so Ravencoin is getting the hype now. I've got a feeling some money is going to be going into Ethereum Classic. Ethereum Classic has got a higher. Is it higher or is it just level? Yeah, it's higher, just barely on the weekend for the braid filter, which is good news. You do have the stochastic rolling over, but I think in one of my other videos, I showed that it can roll over here and then still go on for a massive run. So that's fine. The stochastic's fine. But we don't have, for Ethereum Classic, a bearish divergence. Can you short Ravencoin? Well, you can. I don't know if you're, I trade with Bybit. I'm a mostly a macro trader, macro investor and trader with some disposable money. Because, I don't know what they say, like 90-something% of people lose at trading, especially with leverage. Yeah, it's a risky business once you get into the leverage. I did, let me go back to Ravencoin. I did trade with leverage down here with Ravencoin. I was using 10x leverage, which honestly is kind of high. But I'm using disposable money. So if I lose 100% of it, I don't really care. But I made a good trade down here with 10x leverage, took profits, and then I got stopped out. I think I said in my last video, somewhere around here. I think it was up higher. Anyway, I don't remember. I made some good profits, and then I got back in once it was retesting the 5 cent area because I knew it was holding support there. And then I ran this. So when I woke up this morning and I saw we had a 40% run this morning, I started to take profits up here. With Ravencoin on my long position as well, because I noticed that it was starting to slow down, and we were at this massive resistance anyway, so I wanted to get out of there. Actually, now that we're on Ravencoin, I want to go down to a lower time frame. It just looks like it wants to fall further. We didn't get down to the 30-minute. I don't usually look at the 30-minute unless I'm actually got a long position open. We've got a lot of red on the braid filter. We do have a possible double bottom coming in on the 30-minute, and the RSI is pretty low. But let's go to the 1 hour. Only 3? I don't know. I don't know what you're asking there. 3 times? I'm not sure what you're asking. Again, I use Bybit for my trading. Yeah, we got red on the braid filter here as well. Bybit, I use it just because to me it's the easiest platform for me to use. I can get in my trades very quickly and get out. I was testing 50x leverage the other day just to have some fun. That didn't work out so well. So yeah, again, 10x is oh, maybe you're saying only 3x leverage. Yeah, no, if that's what you're saying, totally. Actually, 5x is like, you know, my maximum that if I'm going to do a long position, 5x is the max I'll go. I was doing 10x with this trade because I was super confident that we were breaking out. Once we got around here, I was super confident. So I was using, that's the only reason I was using 10x leverage. Otherwise, I wouldn't. If I'm kind of skeptical on it, then I'm not going to use that much. 3 to 5x is perfect. Yes. Yeah, 3x leverage. That's what you're saying. So back to Ethereum Classic. I really think this thing wants to break out. I do. Going to the daily here, I think I was saying that we're in some kind of a cup and handle. So we've got the big cup here. It's an ugly cup, but it is a cup. And then we've got our handle going right here. And are we still above our massive resistance here? Yeah, we're still above it. And I mean, we can be dancing around here. It's fine. We've also got a double bottom, you could say, a W pattern, cup and handle. It's doing all that. Short now, are you talking about Ravencoin or Ethereum Classic? Because that would depend. I would definitely not be shorting Ethereum Classic right now. Ethereum Classic looks really good. We're on the daily, we're above the 50 line on the RSI, which is great. We came back to retest it, and it looks like we're about to retest this MA, the moving average line here. So if we can retest that moving average and then get a move, it really looks like Ethereum Classic wants to make a move after the merge. That's what it looks like to me. And we're in some kind of a channel right now. So we're in this channel right here. So you could, I mean, if you wanted to do some scalp trading, okay, I'll let you know about Raven here in a second for shorting. If you want to do some scalp trading, we're at the top of this channel right now for Ethereum Classic. Actually, so if you're just doing a scalp short for Ethereum Classic, you could run it all the way back down to the bottom of this channel here. So we came up, hit it, down. I mean, you could have just been moving in and out of this channel with some scalp trades, if you have time for that. I don't have time for scalp trading. ETC for long term for a year. I'll get to that in a second. Let me just look at Ravencoin. If you're going to short Ravencoin, I think it's too late, honestly. The best time to short would have been right around this area, just to do a small short too, because even if you didn't catch that wick and it came down to here, I guess that's a 14%. That's a decent move if you got in right around when it was up here to short. I mean, I do think that we're going to find support around the 575. So if you shorted this very second, I mean, you're looking at, I mean, it's still like a 7.5% move down, and at 3x, 5x leverage, something like that. That's not bad. And it does look like our RSI is crossing over the MA here. And normally when the RSI crosses over the MA, well, you either move sideways or you get a drop. So that's kind of, I mean, boy, tell you what, I mean, on Ravencoin, on the 4 hour, if we break below and retest the 200 here, I mean, yeah, possibly short. That would tell me that maybe Ravencoin is not going to be moving up for this Ethereum merge. If we fall below this 200 on the 4 hour, that's kind of scary. So I'd be watching out for that too. ETC for the long term. I mean, I don't know if you've watched my previous videos on ETC. ETC, it looks really good. It really does. We had previous resistance here So we were kind of dancing around here. We fell through. I mean, this is all the way back 2018. And so we had fallen through. We came back up. We hit resistance, couldn't get through. Hit resistance, couldn't get through. And then when we did break through, massive run up. And then after this run up, we came back down. We retested that same. So since we never really got a good retest, this isn't a good retest right here. I mean, you can move this line. You could say maybe this was the resistance over here, and we had a fake out right here. And then, you know, we went sideways, and then we finally broke out, came back down. This would actually be the better retest right there, because this is the weekly. So that's a weekly candle that came in retested. Massive run up. I mean, this is incredible. I mean, from right here to the top at 1,800% in 2 months. That's crazy. Oh, something I wanted to talk about. So if you guys are interested in Ethereum Classic, this is something that I was watching. I think his name is Voscoin. He was talking about a specific miner, ASIC mining machine that only mines Ethereum and Ethereum Classic, and that's all it mines. And now he's actually not interested in Ethereum Classic. So he was talking about the mining machine, but he also said Ethereum Classic, he didn't think it was going to do anything after the merge. But he did say that Ethereum and Ethereum Classic were the only two coins you can mine with it. And so what are people going to do? They got all these machines that you can only mine Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. Well, once Ethereum, you can't mine it anymore. You got this super expensive machine. Well, you're going to start mining Ethereum Classic, of course. And so, I mean, honestly, everybody's going to mine Ethereum until the day of the merge. When maybe some people might branch off, but most everybody is going to mine Ethereum until the day of the merge. Once the merge happens, that's when you're going to see the switch flipped, or whatever you want to call it, and that's when you're going to start seeing some stuff happening. And that's what I'm wondering is the Ethereum Classic waiting for that? I mean, you got this nice cup and handle pattern. I mean, on the weekly, it looks ugly on the cup, but the handle looks beautiful. And then this, I have the line right here. If it breaks out right here, you're looking at previous all-time high again. So, I mean, that's a great move to go back up to 100. Well, this one says 143 for the breakout target. Let me make sure that my target's right here. Yeah, that's right. So, I mean, 143, I would imagine, I mean, that's actually higher than the candle body close on the previous all-time high. So I'd imagine that it could wick up to the all-time high easily. So, Ethereum Classic looks really good. On the weekly, it's above the 50 line on the RSI. The braid filter's still green. Let's go down to the daily, see where we're at. The braid filter's dropping on the daily, but we're still looking good. Let's go down to a lower time frame on Ethereum Classic. That is ugly, though. Well, I mean, it's super ugly, but, I mean, you can make a case for head and shoulders pattern coming in, inverse. So you got your shoulder here, you got your head here, and you got your super ugly right shoulder over here. I mean, you can make that case if you want. Braid filter's got in the gray, so on the 4 hour, that's pretty bad. See if it's even getting any kind of green on the braid filter in the lower time frames. It's not. This thing is just going to be moving sideways. It just looks like it. Look at this. It just looks like it wants to move sideways all the way up until the merge, which that's up says September 14th. So somewhere around here. Whenever the merge happens, I mean, look at that. That is just kind of staying within this tiny range here, $37 to $40. That's what I got for Ethereum Classic. Unless you got any other questions on Ethereum Classic, shoot those over there in the chat. But that's what we're looking at. Oh, and if you haven't seen my Ethereum Classic videos, let's go back to the weekly. I didn't finish what I was saying here, I think. So yeah, we broke above. We've been forming this descending, broadening wedge, which is a really bullish pattern. And what's really good about this descending, broadening wedge that I like is we have we came back down to test the bottom, and now the sellers are losing momentum. So any sellers, you would expect this thing to come back down. Like we came up, we tapped it here, and then we came back down. We tapped it here, and then we came down. But we're actually staying up here. And not only that, but we're holding above, even if we moved our Fibonacci, and we moved it here, we're holding above the 382 on the Fibonacci retracement. So that's telling me that the buyers are in control right now. And the sellers cannot seem to push it back down to the bottom of this descending broadening wedge. And so the buyers are holding it here until this switch or whatever is flipped, and Ethereum can no longer be mined, and maybe Ethereum Classic will grab all the everything. So anyway, that's Ethereum Classic. I want to go to the DXY because this is playing out perfectly. So on the DXY, in my last live stream, I had talked about how the DXY is in the ascending broadening wedge, and the buyers for the DXY were running out of steam too. And so they have this big wick right here. This is the weekly. And so this one is coming down. Now we want to keep an eye on this, the DXY. Oh, the braid filter's got a higher histogram here in the red. We're crossing underneath the 50 on the RSI. And we had this bearish divergence on the stochastic, and we're rolling down. So we want to keep an eye on this. And if we start seeing this come down, test this 50 EMA, which is the bottom of this green cloud, and then come back up to retest this previous support, and then we're probably going to fall. This is the 200 EMA right here on the daily. We'll probably fall down to there, which is around just $1.02 or $1.03 roughly is where the DXY is coming. And that's going to... This is going to be a big move for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's going to get up to $28,000 to $30,000 again in the near future, we need the DXY to fall through this and then continue the fall down to the 200. And during this fall right here, that's when Bitcoin, I think, is going to have a massive move. So that's what I got on the DXY. It's starting to finally lose momentum after this epic run. For the DXY, which it's not even really a run. It's like all the currencies are terrible. It's just our currency, because I live in the United States, but the US dollar is the only the currency that's not as terrible as the other ones. So, you know, they're all losing value terribly, but mine in the US is just losing it. Anyway, whatever. Let's move over to Link. Because, and let me get rid of some of the stuff I got on here. Actually, let me go down to the 12-hour. So, I've been following Link for a while now. I bought a big bag of Link when it was down around $5.50 right in here. I don't have time to chart, or I don't even remember actually, but I had charted that this was the bottom of Link. And I bought in a bunch around here. And then it's been slowly going up. But what I'm charting right now is, well, actually, let me go to a different chart here for Link, because I've got more stuff on this other chart, I think. Okay, let me get rid of this. So we are in a massive falling wedge for Link. This has started since our high back in, $50 range. And again, sellers are losing power here because we could not get back down to the bottom, which is a great sign. And so you could call it a cup and handle that we're forming. You could call it a inverse head and shoulders, which is a great reversal pattern, which is what I'm calling it. I'm calling it an inverse head and shoulders. So you got your left shoulder here. You've got your head here. And we're working on the right shoulder here. Now, what we did with this right shoulder is we formed another falling wedge within. So we formed this falling wedge here. We broke out, and now we're also creating a double bottom right here. And we just hit the resistance from this falling wedge, and now we're finding support on the 20 EMA on the 12-hour. And what are we doing on the daily? So yeah, we're trying really hard to break above the 50 EMA, which is the top of this red cloud here, is my 50 EMA. And so we got some nice bottom wicks coming in. We're above the 50 on the RSI, and we've got green on the braid filter. Now it is going down, but I think that, well, nope, not on the 1 hour. Yeah, so we're getting low here. I would imagine that when the stochastic gets back down a little bit and has its next crossover, because we are holding the 50 on the 4 hour on the RSI. So once we get a crossover here, we're going to start seeing some green on the braid filter as well. And that's when I think we're going to have our breakout, because if you look at the Fibonacci's for this, we are holding the 382 nicely. And every time we get down to the 382, we, we get a nice push back up. And so Link looks like it's about to, in my opinion, have a really nice move. Now, Link usually runs a lot slower than most other coins. So I've got Link going all the way back up to this previous resistance right here, which is around $18. So, and which is also the price target for this inverse head and shoulders. So it's going to take a lot of power to get up through this 200 EMA. And then once we break through the 200 EMA, we'll probably come back down to retest it and then move up to about $18. So, I mean, even right now, under $8 is a fantastic buy for Link, because in the long run, this falling wedge here brings us all the way back up to our $50 mark. I've got some notes on here. I've got sell everything at about $137, $38. And sell about, and I mean, these are just notes, but sell 50% or so around $90. And the reason why I do that is because I want it to fall back down and retest right around the $50 range, possibly buy back in and then have it come back up again. Again, this is the daily chart, weekly chart, so this is going to take a long time, but this is looking like a fantastic chart. Plus, I think Link was one of the coins that was running, was one of the first coins to run in the 2021 bull market. It was, and during the bear market, it fared a lot better than a lot of other coins. Let me take a sip of tea here. If there's any other questions or coins you want to look at, go ahead and leave them in the chat. I wish I could see how many people, I'm probably talking to myself now, I don't know. Wish I could see how many people are still in the chat. I got to figure that out. Or at least watching. Okay, let's move on to Ethereum, I guess, really quick. I want to do just quickly on Ethereum. We've got some resistance coming up here at the 2350 range on Ethereum. And the merge is coming up. And we're above the 200 on the weekly. I don't think that Ethereum's going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news. I think Ethereum's going to pump after the merge. I think we might get a quick drop, but I do think that we're going to have a pump after the merge. Could be wrong. I don't know. I'm just a guy. But I think we're going to have a pump. And I think we might either break out of here, and this double bottom pattern that we've got going on here, or a cup and handle pattern, whatever you want to call it. So you got one bottom, or you've got the cup, and you've got the handle or another bottom. And if we do a price target for this pattern here, now we haven't broken above it yet, so it's not a complete pattern, but if it were to play out, that breaks us out of this resistance and brings us all the way almost back up to our previous all-time high, at around 4,280, maybe even, depends on where you want to put this and where the breakout happens and whatnot. I mean, it could be around $3,000, $4,000. So Ethereum looks like it's going to be, in my opinion, breaking out after the merge. Now, I'm going to skip EGLD tonight because I've been going for a while. If there's any coins you want me to look at, leave them in the chat. But I wanted to, if you're still here, if anybody's still here in the chat, I wish I could see, but if anybody's still here, I'm going to share something with you guys that I've been looking at for like 6 months now. And it's just blowing my mind. And so let's see, let's see if we can, I mean, if you're still here, this would be kind of cool, I think. So, okay, we're on the weekly chart for Bitcoin. And not only have we come down on the RSI and gotten down to the 20 level on the RSI. When we got down to the 20 level on the RSI back here, that's when we had our big run. And back here, when we got down to the 20 level, we had our big run. Everybody's talking about that, okay? You can find that everywhere. I've got something that nobody is talking about. And honestly, I don't know why. I don't know if other, like, people are just hiding this information, because I found it fairly easy. So, I don't know. First off, before I get to this secret thing that I found, we're in a falling wedge here for Bitcoin. Now, the problem is we have not come up to retest the top. So that's bad news. So we really need that pump back up to $29,000 to $30,000, something like that. We really need that pump. Now, it looks like we could be getting it. We do have a double bottom forming. We do have the RSI coming up, and we've got the stochastic coming up. We do also have a green on the braid filter, and this is the weekly chart, so that's pretty good. So that's good. But we really need to come back up and retest this. Now, to this thing that I found. If you're still here, I'm actually gonna cut these up and put up different videos for each of the coins I've covered, and have different videos for those. I'm not gonna do that for this Bitcoin one. So this is for only people in the live stream that have been with me this whole time, or that watch the live stream all the way to the end, because I'm gonna finish up after this. So you see, I've got these notes here. And I don't understand. This is just wild to me, okay? I'm on the weekly time frame, so you can't do this on the monthly or the daily. But on the weekly, it works out. So when the very bottom of Bitcoin came in, now, you could say that this is the bottom for Bitcoin back in 2015. And because it did go a little bit lower. But this was also, I think, was this the Bitfinex hack or something? So this was kind of a... not normal. It was just an anomaly. So you could say that's the bottom, but I say this is the bottom. If you count the days from the bear market bottom in 2015 to the bull market high in 2017, it is exactly 1,064 days from the bottom of the bear market to the top of the bull market. Okay. Now, I don't know if this is going to play out again, but it's played out 3 times, nope, 2 times already. It has played out 2 times and almost 3 times. This is actually fairly close, I believe. Well, 742 days, but also this is, the only reason why I don't count this is because this is when Bitcoin had super low liquidity, and you could buy $10 worth of Bitcoin, and that would move the price, you know, dramatically. So that's why you don't count this one. This is when more money was in Bitcoin. 1,064 days from the very bottom of the bear market to the very top of the bull market. Okay? You come over here to 2018 to the 2021 high. How many days? 1,064 days from the very bottom of the bear market to the very top, to the exact day. 1,064 days. 2 times in a row. I think that's pretty wild. Now, if the bottom of Bitcoin just came in, which would have been on June, around, because this is the weekly chart, around June 13th of 2022, if that was the bottom, if it was, and we're creating a double bottom and we're going to start moving up, that would mean that our next all-time high for Bitcoin is going to be on May 12th, 2025. Now, you got to give or take a few days because, again, I'm on the weekly chart. But 2 times, two of the biggest bull runs, I guess this is a big one too, but the 2 that everybody looks at for Bitcoin, let me get rid of those. The 2 that everybody looks at for Bitcoin from the very bottom to the top was 1,064 days. 1,064 days. That's pretty wild to me that it's the exact same date. Now, if you're going off of, if Bitcoin and you got those, you know, the 4-year cycle theories, the halving, you know, when the halving happens, that's when, thanks for Link. Yeah, you're welcome. Link is one of my largest holdings. Great project. And also, as of right now, I caught the bottom when I bought a bunch of Link when it was down around $5.50. So pretty excited about Link. I think Link is going over $100 in this next bull run, easily over $100. So yeah, if you buy it at $5.50 and it goes to even $100, that's not bad. So anyway, I'm gonna close out with this. This is wild. 1,064 days, bottom to top. 1,064 days, bottom to top. So come back to this video if you're still watching. Maybe it'll still be up on YouTube. And you can say, hey, Cosmic Crypto called the top of Bitcoin, May 12th, 2025. Just some food for thought. Anyway, everybody, thanks for watching. I appreciate everybody that has joined me on my Twitter, been subscribing to me on YouTube, and been watching my videos. I love all the comments that everybody leaves, even if they're negative. Had a couple negative ones, but that's fine. I appreciate all of them. I just appreciate you guys watching. My friends got me into this. I've been doing charting for years now, and they said, "Hey, you should start a YouTube channel." And I said, "Oh, because I'm not on YouTube. I wasn't on Twitter. I wasn't on any of this stuff." And they said you should start a YouTube channel, and I've been really thankful for all the people that have been subscribing and everybody leaving likes and feedback, and it's been really really fun. So I appreciate it. And again, thanks for watching. Don't tell anybody about this. Keep it to yourself. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, share my videos and like my videos, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.